I'm really excited to be on here this evening, and I'm so glad you're here tonight. What every leader needs to know about teamwork. And as I was preparing for this webinar, I got into the information and it's like, wow, it was just so good. I could probably talk for about 3 hours this evening if you have time, but I won't, I'll spare you. But it was just so good. And I can tell you that I've taken my content this evening from John Maxwell's The Complete 101 Collection, What Every Leader Needs to Know About Leadership. And also, I've taken it from What Successful People Know About Leadership and the 17, The 17 Indisputable Laws of Teamwork. So it's some good stuff I will share and hopefully add value to you and make a difference for you as you deal with your teams, your colleagues, and anyone you might find yourself doing life with. All right, so let's get started. What I know is that talent wins games, but teamwork wins championships. That's what John Maxwell says. And why is teamwork so important? You really can't do anything of value alone. You can't. I mean, we saw that this weekend. It was glaring. Lee, at the end of the conference, Lee Street, she was on the stage, recognizing all of the team members that it took to make that event a success. And it just goes to show you cannot do anything of real value alone. And it took a team. Lee is amazing, but she needed a team to accomplish that conference. So the truth is that teamwork is at the heart of great achievement. The question isn't whether teams have value. The question is whether we acknowledge that fact and become better team players. If you want to do something big, you must link up with others. We can't do it alone. So I want to talk a little bit about significance. One is let me see, do I have the right page? One is too small a number to achieve greatness. I want to ask you a couple questions. Why is teamwork important? Which people do you admire most? Think about this as I'm asking you these questions. Who do you wish you were more like? I mean, there's always somebody we wish we were more like. Maybe, J-Lo or, I don't know, Michelle Obama, Oprah. Which people inspire you and fire you up? Do you admire business innovators such as Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, Elon Musk? What about great athletes? We've seen Tiger Woods do some great work recently. What about Michael Jordan or your favorite hockey player for the Canadians, of course? What about creative geniuses like Pablo Picasso or Monet, or political leaders, Ronald Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, or Barack Obama? And maybe your list includes people in a field I didn't mention, but it's safe to say that we all admire achievers, don't we? And none of these achievers succeeded alone. It took a team, and you can be sure of that. They did not get where they got alone. And sometimes it just starts with somebody believing in you. And then from there, it's like you build your team as you go and meet people, and they bring value to you. So it's wonderful to see that no matter who you are, you need a team in order to achieve great things. There's a myth, and that's the myth of the Lone Ranger. Nobody does it alone. Nothing significant was ever accomplished or achieved by an individual acting alone. And I really believe that. Leaders who fail to promote teamwork undermine their own potential and erode the best efforts of the people with whom they work. To accomplish anything significant, leaders must learn to link up with others, just to reiterate that. So how are you enjoying this so far? You can give me a hands up if you want, if you're liking what I'm saying so far. What is the impact of good teamwork? I should keep my page out here. And let me tell you, there's a couple of things I'm going to look at today. We just talked about significance. Why is teamwork so important? What is the impact of good teamwork? What are some characteristics of a good team? How do I go about building a winning team? How does a weak player impact the team? And how do I create positive energy on the team? So we're going to talk about that. I want to read something to you. Teamwork. In order to accomplish things in a team, here are a couple of things we need to remember. Teamwork divides the effort and multiplies the effect, right? The second one, talent wins games, but teamwork wins championships. The third one, teamwork is not about you. The Harvard Business School recognizes a team as a small number of people with complementary skills who are committed to a common purpose, performance goals, and approach for which they hold themselves manually accountable. Interesting, isn't it? The next one, number 4, great teams create community. And I think we see that a lot with Toastmasters. And number 5, adding value to others adds value to me. And that is so, so true. So I really want to talk about the characteristics of a good team. I think really that's important to know and recognize. And I just highlighted them here, so I'm just going to read them to you. So these are some characteristics of a good team. Good teams have everyone on the same page. And I've noticed that even being division director this year, having all of the area directors on the same page. That's so important that we're all working toward a common goal. And even with division with the district, working with the district, we're all on the same page. So here are some characteristics that we can look for in a successful team. The team members care for one another. That's really important. Number 2, the team members know what is important. And you need to know what's important on your job, in your marriage, in the district. We just need to know what's really important. What's the priority here? The team members communicate with one another. And being a communication organization, that's primary for us as well. The team members grow together. And I think that keeps everyone on the same page. Number 4, there is a team fit. As people who care about one another grow together and work together toward a common goal, they get to know each other better. They start to appreciate each other's strengths and become aware of each other's weaknesses. They begin to recognize and appreciate each player's unique qualities, and that leads to the development of a team fit. And number 5, for the characteristics of a good team, the team members place their individual rights beneath the best interest of the team. So I want to, how do I go about building a team? And that's important to know how to build a team, because sometimes, especially in Toastmasters, when say the officers are elected, the new club officers are elected, we're all here together. So how do we go about building this team so that we can be most effective and work together to create what we want to create and achieve our goals? So let's talk about number 17 here. Teams come in all shapes and sizes. And if you're married, you and your spouse are a team. 2 makes a team. If you're employed by an organization, you and your colleagues are a team. And how to invest in team building. I believe that most people recognize that investing in team building brings benefits to everyone on the team. And the question for most isn't why, it's how. How do I do that? How do I invest in team building? Teamwork is essential. And investing in the team compounds over time. While you may not notice immediate impact, eventually your investment will prove to be well worth the time and effort you've expended. Focus on faithfully adding value to others, and they'll repay you by taking the organization to new heights. And this really makes a winning team? Why do some teams go straight to the top, seeing their vision become reality, while others seem to go nowhere? And that is the question. So let's look at page 434. There were so many things I wanted to share. I didn't type them all out. I said I'll just leave them here and I'll read them. So there are 10 steps that I'd like to share that you can take to invest in building your team. Now, this is important. If it's at your job, Toastmasters, wherever, you can implement these practices no matter who you are. If you're coaching Little League, you can implement those practices. If you're a follower or a leader, you can implement those practices. So there are 10 of them. Number 1, make the decision to build a team. This starts the investment in the team the moment that you decide to build a team, no matter what it's for. If it's for a conference like we do, decide to build a team, and that starts the investment in the team. Number 2, gather the best team possible. You don't want to just go and pick just anybody. You want to be strategic. You want to make sure you're very intentional about the people you bring on your team. This elevates the potential of the team. And I think everyone wants more. They want their potential to really be at its maximum. So as I've previously mentioned, the better the people on the team, the greater the potential. And number 3, pay the price to develop the team. This ensures the growth of the team. Number 4, do things together as a team. This provides community for the team, and I really like this. We often see this Toastmasters, if we do post-toasties or we get together. I know at my club, sometimes we get together and we go out and we'll do like girls' night out or a dinner out, whatever. But we're providing community for the team. And that's really, really nice because we bond, we grow together, and it creates a stronger unit. It creates a stronger team. Even when you've played the game of your life, it's the feeling of teamwork that you'll remember. You'll forget the plays, the shots, the scores, but you'll never forget your teammates. That describes the community that develops among teammates who spend time together doing things together. And the only way to develop community and cohesiveness among your teammates is to get them together, not just in a professional way, but in personal ones as well. And we do that at Christmas time, in our Christmas parties, but we can be creative. And I always say, have cake. Always try to celebrate something. It can be the small things, but do that. Make things special. Number 5, empower team members with responsibility and authority. And I think that's a great way to see what someone is made of. Give them responsibility, give them authority. This raises up leaders for the team. And I think we always want to be trying to raise leaders as we empower our team members. The greatest growth for people often occurs as a result of the trial and error of personal experience. Number 6, give credit for success to the team. This lifts the morale of the team. Have you ever seen a team do all the work and then someone, maybe the boss or someone higher up, they stood up and took credit for that? That feels awful, doesn't it? Give the credit away. Give credit for success to the team. This lifts the morale of the team, but then they'll praise you after, though. So it's best to give it away first. And Mark Twain, I love this quote by Mark Twain. He said, "I can live for 2 months on one good compliment." Don't you love that? That's the way most people feel. They're willing to work hard if they receive recognition for their efforts. And we do that really well in Toastmasters. We recognize people. And I really love that. I know sometimes we're even in our meetings, we recognize people who most enthusiastic, whatever. We find reasons to recognize people. And we do that very well also with the Pathways program, recognizing each member. And people love that. Yeah, it amazes me sometimes when people don't give compliments or talk up someone's accomplishments. Like, recognize people. It won't take anything away from you. And if you're the leader, take the blame, but never the credit. So that's something. You got to be pretty secure, don't you, when you're a leader, to not need the praise, but to be willing to give it away. But I think in the end, that's the right thing to do. Always give the credit away. Do that, and your team will always fight for you. That's really good, isn't it? I love that. That was number 6 on building a winning team. Number 7, watch to see that the investment in the team is paying off. This brings accountability to the team. If you put money into an investment, and I'm sure we all have, you expect a return, right? Maybe not right away. It's like planting a seed. You want to wait for it to grow and the market is good, but certainly over time. How will you know whether you're gaining or losing ground on the investment? Well, you have to pay attention to it and measure its progress. The same is true of an investment in people. You need to observe whether you're getting a return for the time, energy, and resources you're putting into them. Some people develop quickly. Others are slower to respond, and that's okay. Everyone is different. Everyone has their pace, don't they? But the main outcome you want to see is progress. Are they making progress? Are our team members making progress? And if they're not, well, maybe it's time to have a little chat with them, a private chat, just to see what's going on with them. Maybe something's going on in their life and you don't know, but it's good to keep an eye on their progress. Number 8, I hope you're enjoying this so far. Number 8, stop your investment in players who do not grow. This eliminates greater losses for the team. And I think that makes sense. One of the most difficult experiences for any team member is leaving a teammate behind. That's not fun because we do form bonds. We do create friendships. And that is what you must do, though, if someone on your team refuses to grow or change for the benefit of teammates. That doesn't mean that you love the person less. It just means you stop spending your time trying to invest in someone who won't or can't make the team better. That's all that means. Number 9, for how we go about building a winning team. Number 9, create new opportunities for the team. This allows the team to stretch. Don't you love stretching and growing? And it's usually not very comfortable. It's usually outside our comfort zone, but that's okay. New opportunities are opportunities for growth. And there's no greater investment you can make in building a team than giving it new opportunities. When a team has the possibility of taking new ground or facing new challenges, it has to stretch to meet them. So I love that. It gives them a chance to grow. Number 10, give your team the best possible chance to succeed. This guarantees the team a high return. James E. Hunton says, coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. And working together is success. One of the most essential tasks you can undertake is to clear obstacles so that the team has the best possible chance to work together, work towards success rather. And if you're a team member, that may mean making a personal sacrifice of some sort or helping others work together better. If you're a leader, that means creating an energized environment. And that's important. We set the tone. As leaders, we set the tone. And even presidents of clubs, sometimes they don't realize that, yeah, you're the president. You're setting the tone of this club. If you're not showing up to meetings on a regular basis, the chances are your people won't either. So you set the tone. Yeah, helping others work. If you're a leader, that means creating an energized environment for the team and giving each person what he needs at any given time to ensure success. So it's not just leaving them. You're there, you're supporting them, you're complimenting them, you're building them up, you're investing in them, and you're there for them to ensure you want them to be successful. You want your team to be successful. Investing in building a team almost guarantees a high return for the effort because a team can do much more than individuals. So, and John Maxwell, he said that someone in his conference, they were an attendee, told him, where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a team, there's more than one way. Because we have all of these heads, all of these people coming together with their own ideas, with their own way of thinking. So that's quite exciting, actually. So are you enjoying this? So that's how you create positive energy on a team. You set the tone. You create the environment. And there was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about how does a weak player impact the team? And I thought this was really interesting, and it's good to know because it does happen from time to time that there's someone on the team that's the weakest link. Do you remember that show on TV? You are the weakest link. The strength of the team is impacted, actually, by the weakest link. The power and momentum of a team may be able to compensate for a weak link in the short term, but not forever. Eventually, can I say that 10 times fast? Weak links will put the entire team down to their level. So it's really important, if you see that on your team, to keep an eye on it, only let it go on for so long, and then maybe you need to take care of it. As a team leader, you can't avoid dealing with weak links. Team members must carry their own weight, or they slow down the team. So it really affects everybody. When you're working in a team, you're close, and it does affect everybody. If you have strong people on your team, they always know who isn't performing up to the level of everybody else. Carrying someone else's load, in addition to your own, compromises your performance as well, right? Because all of your energy is like divided. It's not, you're losing the focus. So do that for a long time and the whole team suffers. It's really about monitoring your team and the progress of your team. Yeah, also, I want to talk a little bit about the common goals. And this is the last thing I'll talk about before I open up if you have any questions. There's a big picture we're all working with. The goal is more important than the role. If you think you're the entire picture, then you'll never see the big picture. A team isn't a tool to be used by one individual for selfish gain, rather for a team to function. Its members must have common goals. They must be motivated to work together, not manipulated to work on behalf of someone else. So I think I've shared some good content with you this evening. I think you can put it into practice right away, and I believe it will make a difference with your teams. And also working in Toastmasters with your executive committee, your officers, and just being able to spot what's important, the characteristics, and what the impact of good teamwork really is all about. Yeah, oh, one more thing. John Maxwell, in the 17 Indisputable Laws of Teamwork, it's law number 3, he calls it the law of the niche. All players have a place where they add the most value. I have a place where I add the most value. You have a place where you add the most value. Winning teams require more than the right people. You may have a group of talented individuals, but if each person is out of position, then the team won't reach its potential. Like, don't put me in the finance department. It won't go well. I will be bored, sad, and lonely. Because I love people. I love being around people. I love connecting with people. So that will not be a good fit for me. So then the team won't reach its potential. So we need to be in the right position. Leading a successful team involves putting people in spots where they can excel. So that comes down, I believe, to your strengths, what you're good at. and your weaknesses, someone else has those strengths. So make sure you place people in the right roles, and that goes for Toastmasters as well. In your committees, make sure people are placed in the right roles. So now, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them. Or if you feel like I've answered all your questions, that will be it for this evening. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Here we go.
Renee, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Early in the session, you talked about putting together a great team and not just enrolling anybody who happens to walk by. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we are given a team that says, here, lead this team. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes when we're team building, mm-hmm. sometimes get those who are willing mm-hmm. and available, but not necessarily mm-hmm. able. Mm-hmm. And just wondering, what are your thoughts on dealing with whatever showed up?
Well, of course, if you work with what you have, right? And sometimes numbers are an issue in Toastmasters. So if we have someone, maybe they're not the best fit, but they're there and willing, put them in, but mentor them, coach them, provide them with materials and information where they can learn and grow. So, you know, if that's the case, do that. And we come alongside them and create the environment, and maybe we'll you know, it'll spark them, and maybe they'll really grow into it. So, but it's worth mentoring and coaching them. I think that's really, really important. Does that answer your question, Craig?
Thank you.
Good. Anyone else? And hi. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. RJ.
Radhika.
Okay, Radhika. Great. Thank you.
From
thank you.
Rive Nord.
Rive Nord.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Nice. I like your accent there, Craig.
Oui, je fais mon possible.
Oui, tu fais ton possible. C'est important.
On behalf of everyone, thank you very much, Renee, for sharing about leadership, building teams, and leading them to success. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Great. Thank you. Have a great evening, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.